I'm gonna do this video like this for I don't know, to see how it works. Let me finish my last drop of water before we get into this very important conversation. Yeah, we buy water here. You can't just drink water from the faucet. I was just gonna wing it, man. Like, I'm just gonna wing it now and see if it works. But if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. I believe that I'm no longer sweating as much because the fan is on, and hopefully you can hear me. But let's do this first. It looks like there's something on the lens of the camera, so let's. Didn't work, but that's okay. So I'm going to talk to you guys about my journey coming to Romania through the Romanian Government Scholarship, which is one of the many government scholarships that exist in the world. I'm just going to touch mostly on the Romanian Government Scholarship and not more into my own personal journey. That will be a video for another day. So the Romanian Government Scholarship is a scholarship that is by the Romanian government. What you can expect from it is that it pays for the essentials. It pays for your tuition fees, it pays for your dorm fees, and then it gives you a certain amount of what you may call a stipend. So the stipend depends heavily on what you're going to study. On their website, they mention that for a bachelor's degree, you will be getting a stipend of about 65 euros. It's really small. 65 euros is like really, really small. And then for the master's, I believe they say it's 75 euros. But when you come here, you will realize that it's not necessarily like that. There are some universities that do give you a little bit more depending on which university you go to, and you can't know unless you already know people who are studying here in Romania about the regulations in their universities and stuff like that. My university, for example, is a good one because it gives us a little bit more than that, and also like we have a canteen where we get food, lunch, on school days, or school days, Monday to Friday. We get lunch from the canteen. Usually it's a pretty good lunch, although sometimes like when you start it might feel a bit different from what you're used to eating back at home and stuff. I'm not going to mention which university this is, but yeah, there are things like that. You get a stipend, you get accommodation, you get tuition fees. If you are below the age of 26, I believe, you get free medical services. At school, you'll find that they have a medical cabinet. Excuse me if I'm using Romanian terms, because I'm used to speaking Romanian now and like seeing Romanian stuff. So they call it the medical cabinet. I'm not sure if that's a correct way of putting it in English. This is where you can get different services. You also have like a dentist who is available there. And then if it's something that they can't help you with at the school, they will write you like a reference to a public hospital where you don't even have to pay for anything. So this is more like your medical cover. But if you are more than that age, then you need to buy medical aid for yourself. Medical insurance, medical aid, same thing. That's practically it for what the scholarship covers. It does not cover your flight. It does not cover expenses of transportation and stuff like that when you're here or when you're coming here. There's no such thing. You have to cover your own transportation, and also while you're here, depending on which, like, Depending on which city you are, there will be like different things. But like I know that here where I am, I get a pretty big discount on transportation. So you like they have tram services, bus services. Like it's a pretty good network of transport here, like public transport. So you can pay that like for a single ticket, or you can pay it for like a monthly ticket. And if you buy a monthly ticket where I am, I want to emphasize that like I get a 90% discount in a form of I pay the full price when I buy it at the kiosk, but then the school, I bring the receipt to my school and the school will refund me the 90%. I don't know if this is how it is generally in all of Romania, but this is how it is where I am studying. And also every student below the age of 26 is the lucky number, is entitled to a transport card that gives you a 90% discount on like trains. So you'll find that like if you want to buy a train ticket from let's say the big cities, Timișoara to Bucharest, that's like different ends of this country, you get a 90% discount. So if you were supposed to pay like 100, then you pay 10, so which is good for you as a student in all times. Yeah, that's pretty much the benefits. But transportation in terms of coming here, your airfare and stuff like that, you pay that for yourself. And yeah, that's how it is. Usually applications open, I will show the time period on the screen because I'm not necessarily sure when they open, but usually the responses come in July. I believe that this year they say that the responses will come in the end of this month, the end of August. I've already assisted some people, which I didn't want to assist because I didn't want to assist anyone before I was convinced that this is an opportunity that I would recommend to people. So like assisting someone who has questions and wants to know this and that, it's not very easy when something is not something that resonates with you. Yeah, I didn't want to sell Romania before I was sold on Romania. Which is probably why I'm only starting this YouTube channel now. I don't know what my mouth just did right there, but it did it. So yeah, I know I remembered something. So the best way to learn more about like all this information and stuff is by going to their website. I'll put it in the description below, but it's something like Study in Romania. There are different sites for studying in Romania, but there's a specific one, and then that's where you can create an account, apply for the scholarship. That's where you upload stuff that you need to upload to apply, and then you wait for your results in July. In the middle of July, then they give you responses. One fee that they also cover is the visa fee at the embassies. But if you are like me, we don't have a Romanian embassy in my country, so I had to go all the way to South Africa. So please, like, don't go there without an appointment. They have a very convenient way of you submitting everything you need online, so that by the time you go, you have all the documents that you need. And once you get your visa, what's that? Yes, then you come to Romania. They're pretty nice people. You find people who speak English. But with this scholarship, your learning will be in the Romanian language. So don't worry if you don't know the Romanian language, because you are forced. It's compulsory that you do a language year when you come with the scholarship to Romania. So it means you're going to study Romanian for 1 year. Not exactly 1 year, 10 months. I feel like the Romanian year is so short, because like when I was back home, it felt like school was much longer, but it was 10 months still, but it felt like it was much longer. Yeah, but you come here for 10 months, you learn the language, and it can get pretty intense. The university that I went to was more laid back, but I know like some people who went to different universities in other cities, and they always had an exam all the time. They always, I don't know, man, it was just intense. I'm not laughing at them, but I'm just reminiscing of like how laid back we were, but how intense it still was. It's still intense. Now we are like on the summer holidays, and I have forgotten most of my Romanian. But you get the basics, man, and you need to qualify to a certain level. So with languages, for people who don't know, there are different levels. I believe there are like 6 levels. There's A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. A1 being like beginner, like beginner, and C2 being like fluent, almost like you are a native speaker of the language. So for a bachelor's degree, you need to get like a B1, so which is like somewhere in the intermediate level. And yeah, for the masters you need a B2, I believe, or a B1 still. I'm not so sure because I didn't do a master's, but you can research more on this on the website that I spoke about, that is in the description below. So what else would you need to know? They use a different currency from the euro. They use what we call the lei. It's relatively, it's a good currency, I believe. It's not that big, it's not that small, it's pretty good. Yeah, and the standard of living here in Romania is also pretty good. So for students, you are allowed to work something around 4 hours per day, around 20 hours per week. So you can get a student job. Most people like do deliveries, and they can earn a pretty decent salary. With 4 hours of work, I would estimate in a month you would make something like 2,000 lei. 2,000 lei is like a lot more than you're getting from the scholarship, so it can assist you. Delivery jobs, if you're a guy, they're pretty easy to get. I'm thinking of starting a delivery job myself. I've had other previous jobs, but I'm thinking of doing the delivery job. When I came to Romania, I did not know how to use a bicycle, but I learned, and now I think I can do a delivery job. 4 hours per day, yeah, that's additional income that you get, that you can save up for other things that you need, or to supplement whatever that you need. Yeah, so my advice to you is that when you apply for the scholarship, don't apply for big cities. We have realized that if you apply for big cities, competition is higher, and when competition is higher, it means they're gonna select the very best. And if you don't have the very best of results, just try as much as possible to apply for a university that doesn't rank so high in Romania. I just used that trick. I didn't know that it really worked, but I realized that it really did work. Also because I was coming in with our high school certificate in Lesotho, which I wasn't sure if they acknowledge here in Romania. There are some universities that acknowledge it, there are some that don't acknowledge it, but the good thing was that I was doing A-levels at the time, so that was okay. Please do yourself a favor and get your A-levels, so that by the end of the language program you don't get yourself returned back home. Because what I realized is that they reevaluate you again after the language program. It's not like you've been accepted, yay, that's it. Language program is just administered differently from your whole university program, because you might find that you are admitted to a certain university but you have to do the language program at another university because not all of them provide the language. So if you do that after doing the language and you realize, oh my god, they are saying that my results are like this or that, that would be a problem. So try as much as possible to be as qualified as possible and with really good results. Yeah, even though you're choosing like the not so good cities, don't even though you're not going to choose the big cities, don't choose cities that like are depressive, because there can be very depressive cities in Romania. I'm lucky, I didn't know this when I applied, that the city that I applied to, even though it's not a very big city, it's close to a very big city. So I'm able to like commute between these two cities almost every weekend and enjoy the benefits of the bigger city, because there are more students there. It's more intercultural. The small cities also, you have to factor in the fact that Romania just opened up its borders just recently, or just there have been more people who are international coming into Romania just recently. It's not been a thing that has been happening for a very long time. So you'll find that in most small places, you're still like the only black person, or there are only like a very, very few number of black people. On public transportation, you find you're the only one, and you might face some elements of racism sometimes. So these are things that you still need to factor in if you're a person of color like myself. But also, if you're a Christian, you need to know that where you're going, you can find a church that is the same as, and yeah, but those are like things that you can start thinking about once you've arrived. Other than that, I think you will be sorted. The website is pretty easy to understand. Create an account, upload necessary documents, wait for an email that tells you have been approved. Once you have been approved, you can start your visa application, contacting your school. And the other thing is that before you come, you have to translate your documents. The good thing is that you can translate your documents in Romania. And in Romania, like if they are not in Romanian, I'm guessing like no one who lives outside of Romania has that documents in Romania. Don't translate your documents in your country. Translate your documents in Romania because it's cheaper. Translate your documents here in Romania, it will be so much cheaper. Like everyone has been saying this. I wanted to translate my documents when I was back in Lesotho, and the South African agency that I wanted to translate with was just so expensive. And I came here, by the grace of God, I said maybe I'll find a solution here, and I did, and it was like not even half, bro. It was like the 10% transportation thing. I got a 90% discount literally. So translate your documents when you get here. There are translators here, there are notaries here, and you can get your stuff done very quickly. Like within 3 days your documents are translated and done. So yeah, your school will communicate with you. Keep in contact with your school. Once they will tell you in the email for you to contact your school to tell you what you need, and also the acceptance letter will come. The school will give you the acceptance letter and other documents that you will need for your visa application. So you talk to your school about those kind of things, and you come to Romania, you enroll in the language program. It will be very easy, very smooth. You go to your Camin, they will explain everything that you need. You sign your contracts of the call it Camin, but like the student accommodation. Yeah, that's Romanian Camin. Yeah, from there you will be sorted. You will study the language, and after a year, I've just completed my language year, and I'll be going into my bachelor in business administration. So that's the process that I've taken so far. Do I recommend Romania? Yes. There are benefits of studying in Romania, and those I will explain in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I tried as much as possible to explain everything that you will need.